Hi everyone, this is Jeff.
And this is Russ.
When we first started Home on the RNG, we began it as a series of videos, and we produced quite a few before we realized it really works better as a podcast.
Whoops-a-doodle.
So we apologize if any of these early episodes have any visually heavy references that don't transfer to the audio medium.
Whoops-a-doodle.
Thanks for listening.
What's up?
Welcome to a very special Home on the RNG. As you can see, Lauren's actually going to be with us the whole time this time, instead of just, doing her section.
Is this a very special episode, like a very special episode of Full House?
We'd like to talk to you about your drug use.
Where Stephanie gets her period or something.
Russ, would you like to talk about your period?
No,
Okay.
that's private.
That's fair.
That's fair. So, since it is our 10th episode, we thought what we would do instead of doing a normal game review is we would go back and do kind of a look back at the 9 games that we have done up to this point. So, this episode is going to be in 2 sections. In the first section, we're going to talk about common tropes that we've encountered throughout these games. And we're going to talk about the best games that we played, the worst games that we played, and the most surprising game that we came across. And then in the second half is going to be Lauren's time to shine. We're going to play a very special game of Name That Tune, where we will have the camera princess over there. She's going to play 10-second clips randomly from the soundtracks of the games that we played, and we're going to see if we can figure out what the hell game it is. Yeah.
If it's not Square Enix, I don't know.
I'll do my best.
I'm not even sure I had the sound on when I played half of these. All right, so
How do you do that?
we're going to talk about the tropes. Russ, would you like to start us out with our first big trope?
Yes, our first trope is priest saving your soul and your game.
This one we didn't actually encounter as much as I thought we would.
Yeah, that's true, because I feel like it happens more than it does, I guess, because of Dragon Warrior.
That's got to be it.
Or Dragon Quest. It's still used in even the modern Dragon Quests.
Oh, you mean like as a save feature?
Yeah,
right.
the priests
you
are the
go
same
to the
feature.
church and you save, and then you get resurrected.
But it wasn't even in the first Dragon Quest, which is what we played.
That's
this
so
go-around.
true.
The save person was the king. You had to go back to the home castle every time.
It's weird when you sit down and think about that. I guess that was actually true for the first 3. Now that I think about it, because I've played all of them.
I haven't played 2 and 3.
Now that I think about it, yeah.
It wasn't until the Super Nintendo.
It wasn't until, well, it was 4.
Oh, 4,
It was
okay.
Dragon Quest 4 that had you started saving at the church.
Interesting. And it's become so iconic.
I know, exactly.
Yeah, because I've seen all of them all the way through, and I was like, oh yeah, obviously that's what you do. And then you mentioned the king, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's right.
That's
But
right.
I didn't think of it as
Right,
that being what you do.
right.
So, all right, so what games, Russ, did we encounter where priests saved your soul and your game?
That happened in Lufia and the Fortress of Doom and Shining Force.
And that was it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Next, we had one that surprised me with how much it came up, which was joining the dark side. This is, at some point in the game, the bad guys try to recruit you. They, why don't you come serve us? Now, inevitably, saying yes either ends the game or doesn't count. Like, 5 seconds later, it's like, yeah, but not really. But it came up a surprising amount of time. In fact, it came up more than any other trope we found. 5 times. It happened in Great Greed. It happened in Dragon Quest I at the very end. It happens in Breath of Fire near the end. It happened in Final Fantasy Legends. And it happened in Arcana.
Now I have a question about this. In each of these, do you have the dialogue box option to say yes?
Yes.
Yes.
That's
What's
the
mix of
choice.
trope? Okay.
If it just says, come join us, no, not really, and then attacks you, well, I didn't really get the option.
Right.
I remember in Great Greed, you can actually get stuck in a loop of joining the dark side. Because you join the dark side, and then Microwave, I think, the mage shows up and says, I won't let you do it!
Right.
And, kills you, and then time rewinds, and you get the dialogue box again. And again. And and again.
And it just makes you wonder why she couldn't use that power to
kill
stop
biohaz
and not even involve you.
This game is the best names ever.
Yeah.
all of the enemies and most of the characters in Great Greed are named after food.
I'm getting that impression.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, Lauren?
Okay, so the next one, which is the sort of thing that you might expect would not be common, but is ancient robots in a fantasy setting, which appeared in Great Greed, Shining Force, Breath of Fire, Final Fantasy Legends, and a whole lot of games that aren't even on this list.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the entirety of the Wild Arms series right there. That's like Paladin's Quest. That's
Exactly.
Like everything.
Exactly. And it's one of my favorites. You think that you would get tired of it after a while, but I personally don't. I always like the idea of ancient technology.
It just always sounds like a thing that it should be a unique idea. Like, somebody sitting down to come up with a game should be like, I bet nobody's thought of this before, but what if, in this fantasy game, you had robots walking around? And it turns out, almost all of them.
I have a question, actually. Chrono Trigger isn't on this list, but Chrono Trigger does have, because it goes through time, it has the high technology in the past, and then elements of the high technology come into the future.
So I put this list together, and I thought about that, but I didn't put Chrono Trigger on it because the robot actually comes from an era where robots are common.
Right.
As opposed to...
So this is specifically robots, not like robot-level technology coming back.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Like the Kingdom of Zeal is much more technologically advanced than, say, the Middle Ages, but there was a fall. There was a fall of that technology.
And that seems to usually be the backstory with this sort of thing when you have the ancient robot, is that once upon a time we had the Kingdom of Zeal. We had some equivalent of the Kingdom of Zeal, and that brought about the end of the world.
It's got its robots still lingering, a couple of... All right, we can put Chrono Trigger on there as like an honorable mention.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Right?
That works.
Because nobody's going to stop us.
I mean,
We're going to do what we
stop us.
want with the list.
Right.
If you're choosing not to, I'm on board with that.
I'm fine with it being an honorable mention. The next one, Russ?
Next, we have the final boss having multiple forms. We only played... Wow, that's surprising. We only played 3 games, apparently, that had this trope. Dragon Quest I, Chrono Trigger, and Arcana. But I feel like that happens in almost every game.
Right, again, it's like the same
Yeah.
thing. It's like the priest saving the game. It sounds... It feels like something that should happen more often.
No, but I can think of like a number of games in which that happens, like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, where like there's the multiple stages.
Almost every Final Fantasy boss has got multiple forms.
Kafka.
Oh, God.
Yes, it's
He's a
definitely...
tower.
Power of Judgment, yeah.
So I think as we continue to play more games, we will find more of that particular trope.
What I like about that, if you've played all of the Dragon Quests, after Dragon Quest II, it actually is not just final forms of the multiple boss, but you spend the whole game, in every game, you spend the whole game thinking that you're fighting this one particular guy, and then it turns out there's like someone else behind the scenes that's pulling the strings.
It's interesting you should say that.
Yeah.
That actually brings us to our next trope.
Thank you. Exactly.
I appreciate that was good. That was very professional. I mean, I'm going to sit here and point it out. So now it's not professional
See, I
anymore.
can be a consummate professional.
That was. I am shocked. If Lauren weren't here, I would use the room to fall over. Yes. Our next item on the list is the surprise boss, where you spend the entire game going, I'm going to get you, Golbez, and then Golbez stands aside and goes, actually, it's that guy.
Yeah.
And then that guy's like, well, actually, it's the bigger version of me.
Yeah, actually, it's my second form. Final Fantasy tends to do this a lot. We only encountered it twice. I think it might show up more later. One was in Arcana. You're going against the big bad guy, and at the last second, he's able to summon an evil god, and you have to fight the evil god. And the other was Shining Force, where again, you spend the entire game, the entire story points you towards this dark dragon general. And then right at the end, I've summoned a dragon. Fight him.
But see, that's different than like he's been there all along, pulling the strings, which is kind of the Final Fantasy trope, which is like actually great evil is controlling everything.
The reasons for the surprise boss are a little bit different, but the end result mechanically is the same.
Right, no, that makes sense.
I'm gonna fight you. No, this guy.
See, I think it's the difference. Some games execute it well, and then some games just go for it for the surprise.
Final Fantasy IX and like a chandelier descends from the ceiling. It's like, I've been the final boss.
Yes, exactly.
Right. All right, Lauren, our last trope for this particular episode.
It's not my favorite trope, but it certainly is common with RPGs in particular, the silent protagonist. which in this list is Great Greed, Dragon Quest 1, Breath of Fire 1, and Chrono Trigger. Although Chrono does actually have a
Yes.
line or two in one of the endings.
I think we brought that up in the review. I can't remember. It is possible to get Chrono to say a line of dialogue, so should he count as a silent protagonist, we might have to make Chrono Trigger honorable mention. Because he has one line of
See,
dialogue.
this is why Chrono Trigger is so unique and special. And so beloved.
You know what I found most surprising about the silent protagonist? In my head, I just assume all games are like that, with rare exceptions, and yet not even half the games we played had it.
See, I dislike it intensely, and so because for example, like the Suikoden series is one of my favorite series of all time, and one of the games in the series, nobody in it is silent, and that is a great thing. And so I feel like a lot of games, if you actually have the characters and the background and stuff, like the silent protagonist doesn't necessarily work. So for me, I get frustrated whenever I find it, so I don't feel like it's that prevalent, but...
See, it always stands out to me. Like when I played Alufia for the review, it was the first time I'd ever played it, and the protagonist said something. I went, whoa,
Yeah.
hold on. Who gave you permission to talk?
Right.
I mean, that doesn't...
You're supposed to be me, and I didn't say Jack. It was a weird experience. I don't mind a silent, I do enjoy a non-silent protagonist because I like a more well-developed story.
Yes.
And the idea behind a silent protagonist is to try and make the protagonist more of a blank slate for you to imprint
Right.
yourself on, which I think inherently makes it a less developed story.
Yes, agreed, because you can't develop the same relationships with other characters that a character could.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's as if the person who wrote the game left just a blank spot for you instead of coloring in the whole story. That said, I don't mind silent protagonists as much as Lauren seems to. It doesn't bother me that much because I accept it as the standard. It's a pleasant surprise when it doesn't happen. And Russ, she and I have talked the entire time about the tropes.
Yeah,
Go
that's
ahead.
very true.
I talk
No, it's
a lot.
okay.
I actually
You and me
agree
both,
with you.
sister.
I don't like the silent protagonist. For me, I always felt like it's because I grew up on jRPGs instead of Western RPGs, and I mean, all of these that we've played are jRPGs, but I feel like it's more prevalent in a jRPG to have a more well-rounded protagonist than it is the norm in the Western game, is to have the blank slate character.
I think that's fair, because you usually have like
And then-
BioWare-style games. In
Right,
Western RPGs.
exactly. And then in the JRPGs, they definitely give their protagonist more personality. I mean, all the Final Fantasies don't use the silent protagonist. And that's where I kind of cut my teeth on RPGs. So,
Likewise.
yeah.
Fair enough. All right, so we've got 3 more things to talk about really quick, and I'm going to do them in a different order than I have them written down.
Uh-oh.
So it's okay.
Well, I'm not ready for this. No.
Lauren, you and I are going to chat while Russ gets ready. So
All
how are
right.
things?
Things are all right. I'm
Oh,
glad
good.
to be
Are you
here.
ready yet?
I'm ready.
Okay. Thank God. All right. So first, the worst of these 9 games that we played. In this group, we're going to talk about the worst game that we played.
The worst first. So getting the bad stuff out of the
Yes,
way.
that's precisely my
Okay.
thinking.
I
Russ,
understand.
of these 9, which do you think was the worst game? Which game would you pay money not to have to play again?
You probably know. You probably think that you know what I'm going to say.
I'm hoping you and I are actually in agreement on this
But
one.
Arcana. I'm saying Arcana. I would pay money to never have to play that game again. Yes.
I am right there with you. You tell me who to pay, and God Almighty.
Yeah, it was, like I said in our review, it wasn't, for me, it wasn't even difficult. It was just boring. It was just an isometric dungeon. I mean, people complain about Final Fantasy 13 being a game where you just walk down one long hallway. Well, I felt like this was kind of like the 16-bit equivalent of that. You're just walking down hallways.
Now, I'll say this, because I like to try and be fair, and I like to try and argue the other side. So I'll do a shorter version of what I said at the end of our review. If you enjoy isometric dungeon crawlers, if that's your thing, that's what you really enjoy, Arcana might be great for you.
Isometric dungeon crawlers with an extremely high encounter rate.
I have friends who love it because they love that kind of game. I'm with you though.
For me, I'm story. I'm a story-based
Me
guy.
too,
And
yeah.
the story in Arcana feels like something they added at the last minute, like, oh God, we forgot to put in a story. Well, here, all right, good, shove it out. Like,
And it's
an
so
excuse
promising
to
at the
shrink it.
beginning.
Yeah.
at the beginning they give you this like wall of text,
Like, oh my god,
with all of this history about
there's
politics
lore and
yeah.
characters. No. Right after that, the story just becomes a way to string the chapters together. That's all it is.
You never hear anything about that
Yeah.
after the prologue.
Anyway, you watch the Arcana review if you want the full thing, because that's about what we're doing now. Just, I would pay money not to play it again, because I hate isometric dungeon crawlers, and I love story, and so this was my antithesis. This was my arch nemesis of games.
Or at least
Well,
the JRPGs. The ultimate JRPG for you?
Yeah, I think it might be. I know we're limited to this list for this topic, but I honestly can't think of a video game I played that I hated more than Arcana.
That is impressive.
All right, now Lauren, you didn't get the opportunity to play all of the games that we did
No.
because you joined the party
The
late.
latecomer.
But any of these games, which of these games that you have played, do you hate the most,
See,
or like the least, if you prefer a softer tone?
yeah, no, the thing is, like, I don't have any, like, deep loathing for any of them the way you seem to. Arcana is definitely the weak link on the list of the ones I played, though, so. Did not make it very far. I have watched friends play through it, and that is not for me.
Not for you.
No.
You betrayed me. Yeah, you should have seen it coming. You've been betrayed by everybody you've ever met.
Yeah.
Everybody
It's
you've ever met.
basically just a game about stupid people.
You were born and your mother went, I betray you, and slapped you. Like, that's your life. All right. So, the best game, Russ,
Well, okay.
on this list.
No, I know. What I'm going to describe for the best game, Chrono Trigger is the best game. I mean, that's the best game that we played. But I want to talk more the second best, I guess, for me,
Okay.
which is Lufia.
Of course you want to talk about
Yeah, I love Lufia. For my review that I love Lufia, I feel like Lufia would be a really great anime. I think that it was an exceptional script for the time. I think it was very well written, the back and forth between the characters. It had comedy, it had drama, it had a great
laughed,
twist,
I
surprise.
cried.
I have to ask you if you have played Lunar, the Silver Star.
I have. I love
It's
Lunar.
a very similar plot.
I
It has
love
a lot
Lunar.
Of the same charm.
Yes.
Like, the two games have a lot in common. For
They really
some
do.
reason.
They really do. And I have always wanted to see like an anime of Lufia. I think it's structured with the different quests that would be different episodes, and I love the characters. So I wanted to talk about that. Chrono Trigger is really the best. Chrono Trigger is really the best.
Again, Russ and I are in agreement on
But
this
everybody talks about how wonderful Chrono Trigger is, and Lufia just doesn't get as much praise as I think it deserves.
So the thing that stuck out to me, because again, I'm with Russ on Chrono Trigger, of the 9 that we played, was the best one. Those of you who watch some of my other videos know that I take a particular delight in tearing things apart and picking at threads and plot holes and all of that. And I really couldn't find something to complain about with Chrono Trigger. I feel like it pulled off everything it was trying to do extremely well. There was no glaring, if only they changed this. Or I just didn't like this part, or this system, or this mechanic. I don't think if you paid me, I could improve Chrono Trigger in any way. So for me, that's why it was the best of the games that we played. It's kind of the gold standard of JRPGs, I think, in a lot of ways.
Which then gets me all fired up.
Okay. Lauren's fired up, Russ. Hide.
I give Chrono Trigger this out of this list, but with some degree of resentment, because I've spent my entire life in the Final Fantasy VI versus Chrono Trigger battle. And so for a long time I resented Chrono Trigger, and I held it against it. I was like, it's not that good a game. Really what I meant was I was tired of people saying it was better than 6. So the fact that I have to say that it's the best on this list.
On this list.
Is it very painful?
Yeah,
It's
young
very
Lauren
painful.
would be very disapproving.
Okay.
But
Well, you have to
I
understand.
understand what you mean, though, because they came out so close together,
and
I remember playing both of them at the same time and comparing them.
well, they have very different strengths. Chrono Trigger
Yeah.
is inherently a goofier game, and I am a melodramatic person, and I want my melodramatic story and my melodramatic
Right.
characters. And so for me, I was like, it's got. Looking back on it, I'm like, it has really charming characters. It has really fun mechanics. The music is fantastic. I think that 6 might be Rimatsu's best score, so it's hard to compare those two. But I feel like the degree of drama and storytelling in 6 is better and
that's
unappreciated. by
True. I
comparison.
totally actually agree with you on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're sitting on a couch with two people who have gone their entire life saying Earthbound is the greatest JRPG.
I didn't
And
play
now-
that until just a few
I
years
know,
ago, though.
but now Earthbound has had this cult following, and now we're not the freaks anymore. But you gotta understand, for a long time, we were the freaks.
Yeah, you invited your friends over to your house to play Earthbound when you were a kid.
You
and
didn't
they're
have
like,
any friends then.
What is this
No,
bullshit?
no.
Well, that's why I didn't play it for so long. Is there was the campaign that this game stinks, and I looked.
Yeah.
I don't like goofy things. I like serious things, and I was a very
Yeah.
serious child. So I was like, "What is this?"
See, you say that, but I watched you actually. Lauren did an LP, a blind LP of Earthbound, where she played it for the first time on camera.
I was wrong, as it turns out.
I recommend you go and watch it. It's a lot of fun. That's actually how one of the reasons I invited her here, because she would talk about the music in such detail. But you laughed your way through all the funny parts.
No.
I'm very serious, except when something's actually funny. Then I'll laugh.
I have a strange sense of humor, so it's hard to find something that really gets me. So I tell people I don't like comedy, but like just the pencil eraser, just like what? Like just
And then the
absurdity.
eraser.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
And I recently learned that, did you know you can try and use the pencil eraser on the Manny Manny statue, and there's actually a little special line of dialogue for that?
I feel like I did know that, but forgot over the years.
It just says, does that look like a pencil to you?
Oh
Something
my
like
god.
that. Anyway, all right, so those are our tropes. Now, who's ready to play Name That Game? Yeah?
Name that game.
Name
wait,
the
wait,
tune
no,
with the
there's
music.
one more thing.
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah,
oh,
we do
God,
have-
I have
The
screwed up the whole thing.
You're surprised that there is a surprise about the surprise.
This topic is so surprising to me. See how I did a segue thing?
Yes,
No,
yeah.
No, I completely.
But
I
I'm
think you were still the slickest, I think, of this.
Yeah, that was the
Good.
best segue.
Yeah, that's
All right,
what I live
so our final category before we move on to Name That Game is the most surprising game out of these 9. And I feel like I created this category with a specific game in mind. But go ahead, Russ.
Well, it's probably the one that I'm going to say.
Well,
we're so
to be clear-
simpatico.
To be clear, the most surprising can be, oh my god, this was so much better than I thought, or oh my god, this is so much worse than I thought, or wow, this wasn't at all like I remembered. So there's options.
My most surprising, I'm gonna say 2 because I have one from both ends
Okay.
of the spectrum.
Whatever makes
So
you happy.
my
Russ.
most surprising that I enjoy, like I was so surprised that I enjoyed it so much, was Great Greed.
Yeah.
I had played Great Greed as a child. I actually owned the Game Boy cart, but I don't think I ever finished it.
You could sell that for like $2 now.
Could be a millionaire.
It's a collector's item.
Oh, dear.
But no, I was surprised how good it was for such an obscure Game Boy game. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I was surprised how much I didn't like Breath of Fire. Yeah, you knew that I was going to say that. Because I remember playing Breath of Fire as a kid and being obsessed with it.
It did not age well.
And it didn't age well
No,
at all.
not at all.
That fetch quest with the old lady and delivering the
Yeah,
letter.
right there at the end of the game, like the final boss has arisen. You must go and spend some time making pen
Breath of
pals between
Fire.
old people, and then you can fight the end boss.
Right, Breath of Fire tried to fill the game with so much content that it's like it forgot to be fun after a while. So I was surprised on both ends of the spectrum with those 2 games.
I'm really glad Lauren's here. Otherwise, this entire thing would just be you and I agreeing with each other, which I'm surprised by, considering how much you hated Shining Force, and I think it was probably the second best game we played.
I hated Shining Force, but it was only the second worst. Yeah.
But again, I did create the idea of most surprising specifically so we could talk again about Great Greed.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, obviously it's limited by Game Boy technology. There is an inherent limit into how fancy a Game Boy RPG can be. But within that limitation, shockingly good game. A new try on the battle system that I haven't seen anywhere else. And don't get me wrong, I like a menu-driven battle system. I like the Dragon Quest series because they haven't changed what works. But it is nice on occasion to see people try something different, like Chrono Cross. Maybe not the best battle system in the world, but I'm glad they tried something different.
Don't you even talk about Chrono Cross.
I'm going to have to duck out. These two are going to kill each other.
Oh dear. Is it your favorite then?
Absolutely. Love it.
Okay.
Love
It
it.
has amazing music.
Okay.
One of the best soundtracks ever written.
So for me,
So now we will fight. No, I'm just kidding.
so as we said in the review, I would love to see a remake of Great Greed. It was really well done. I'd like to see what it could do with the limitations of the hardware removed. We never will, because nobody's heard of the damn thing.
Yeah.
But for me, that was the most surprising. I did not anticipate enjoying it as much as I did, and I'm glad I did because it was the first game we played in this project.
Yeah.
And if the first game we had played in this project had been Arcana, there would not have been a second episode.
You would have never seen me again.
Russ would have unfriended me after 16 years. So, all right. Most surprising on the list.
Oh gosh, I don't know. So, I mean, I'm surprised by Great Greed because I didn't know about it before you guys. And I kind of think that I
See,
know.
we're all in
obscure
agreement.
RPGs.
Great Greed.
Also, Lunchbox is a really great name.
Yes, the head of the bodyguards who you can marry, and then the mage microwave,
Really
and the
fantastic.
enemy biohaz.
But I actually think that Secret of Evermore is a game that I did not appreciate as a kid because I wanted it to be Secret of Mana, and it is not Secret
No,
of
it's
Mana
right.
at all. But if you actually look at what it is, it's different, it's inventive, it's fun, it's really strange. I don't know. It's actually a really good game, but it's one of those things that you have to take as what it is and not as what you expected it to be.
Right.
Like we said in the review of Secret of Evermore, blah, 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 blah. I liked the fake B-movie references.
Mhm.
Like those, something about that just speaks to my soul as a lover of bad movies.
Well, it's like it's almost like a working designs translation, and it's like modernity, like references and stuff. It's a really weird feeling game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, it's almost got like a little hint of like LucasArts flavor. Like it is a strange,
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
strange game, but really good at what it does.
All right, so I haven't forgotten any topics this time, right?
No, I think
think you're
that's
good.
the whole list.
I think
So
we're
we're ready for Name That Game.
Yes. Yay!
Name
that game!
So, the three of us are now going to play a very special game of Name That Tune. We're going to prove how bad Russ and I are at video game music.
Yeah.
And Lauren will probably whump us pretty bad.
I'll do my best.
Our assistant, the camera princess, is over there ready to play 10-second clips from the various video games that we played, including 5 bonus tracks from games we didn't play, because. And we're going to do our best to guess what the name of the game is. You can play along at home because I'm not going to reveal the name of the game until we've all made our guess. Then you'll see what the game was, and we'll move on to the next one at the end. Whoever has the most points gets a prize that Russ has brought. And I'm horrified. I have no idea what it is, but I'm scared.
It defines my personality.
Oh dear.
God. All right, Princess, would you mind pointing the speakers at us so that we can hear? Just turn one of them around for us, and we can begin.
I'm so nervous.
Okay. That's all we get.
Wow.
All right. I think.
You said fit. You said
No,
fit.
you did good. All right, I think I know. Russ, do you have an idea?
Sure.
What are you picking?
Oh, you want me to say?
Yes. What do you think it is?
Arcana?
I'm going to go with Secret of Evermore because there was almost no music to it, and that's how I remember Secret of Evermore being.
I recognize it, so it's probably not Arcana. It's definitely a Super Nintendo game, so I'm going to go with Secret of Evermore as well.
Okay, what was it?
Secret of Evermore.
Yay!
I feel like we should high five for that. You know the secret.
Yes,
Elbows.
you look for the elbows.
Yes.
You don't get to high five. Next.
This is just making me feel inadequate about myself as a human being.
At least I think we'll all recognize Chrono Trigger when it hits, I hope. Alright, I think I've got mine. I think.
I'm doing process of elimination here.
Okay. Russ? Do you have a guess? Or we can go from the other end first?
Yeah, go from the other end first. We'll do back and
When
forth.
you do your process of elimination.
Yeah, so it's not a game that I know very well, I don't think. So I'm going to guess it's Arcana.
I'm also going to say it's Arcana.
I'm going to go with Arcana as well.
Eh.
All correct.
Yes!
Yay!
Oh.
Okay, do we have to do a high five three ways? Alright.
How do we... Russ, we're having a 3-way high five now. I don't know how
Ta-da!
that's
Air five!
Ta-da!
Oh, no, even better. Okay.
Okay. We are the coolest kids.
We are the coolest kids.
Next.
Oh, I know that. I actually know this
I know
one.
this one.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. I think I know it. Go ahead, Russ.
Breath of Fire, 1.
Absolutely.
Okay, I was going to go with Luffy. I'm wrong. You guys are right. It was Breath of Fire. I'll lean back. You guys can high five without me.
Yeah!
All right.
I will sit here in my failure. Next. Oh. Yeah.
Some things you just know.
I have played this one on Switch. So
All right, Lauren.
that's the Dragon Quest one. Of
Dragon
the world.
Quest.
Dragon Quest.
All right.
Yes.
All right. I think. How many points do you have now?
I don't.
Oh. I think we all have 3. I think we actually. Or no, you haven't.
No,
You haven't
I
missed one. You got 4.
Yes. I can win something.
Yeah, keep track of your points. See if you get the
Oh,
prize.
okay.
All right.
And it
next.
is an amazing prize.
Oh God. Okay. I'm a little disappointed to that one. Russ.
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger.
Really?
That's what we think.
I don't recognize it, so I'm gonna go with Great Greed.
Okay.
You're all wrong.
Oh God.
It's Shining Force.
Oh.
Oh my word!
All right.
Wow.
That
okay.
really makes me feel inadequate.
Yeah.
As a Chrono Trigger
Yeah.
fan.
I thought it was the music box at the end of the game.
Yeah, me
But see,
too.
that plays to faraway times.
Okay. Let's see.
Clearly, I know Shining Force 2 better than 1.
Go ahead. Okay. Okay, I'm good on this one. Lauren is especially good on this one. And Russ is okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all too qualified for this one. Do we want to just say it at the same time?
I believe the full title of it is The Battle of the Island in the Void.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Lufia.
Lufia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We all get a point for Lufia. Princess.
That's totally the title.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Fred, Lufia, and the Fortress of Doom.
So do you get like a bonus point?
For knowing the name.
I feel like I'm cheating on that one.
I feel like she's gonna win as it is. Although we're doing okay.
Yeah.
4 to her 5.
Doing better than I thought I would.
You think you got it?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Okay.
Because depending on what it is, either you guys know this one super well, or we're all guessing. So your reaction is going to tell me something from not looking at you.
Okay. Well, you can go first if you want.
Okay, that's actually probably the best way to go. Okay, so it's clearly a Game Boy game, but is it Uematsu or is it not Uematsu?
That is the question.
That is the question. I'm inclined to say that's Great Greed.
I'm going with Final Fantasy Legends.
I am also going with Final Fantasy Legend.
All right.
Princess.
Final Fantasy Legend.
Yes!
Done.
All tied. We are not losing as badly as I thought, although we missed that one and thought it was Chrono Trigger.
I know. That.
Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, this is a bonus one. It doesn't have-
Oh.
Okay.
I have no idea. Is that a Capcom game?
No, it is in fact a LucasArts game on the Nintendo. It is Maniac
Maniac
Oh my
Mansion.
god, that game gave me nightmares.
Mansion. The blue-faced people.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
They want to eat you, don't they?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Ooh.
they want to suck out your brain or.
They want to eat your brain.
When you're
Yeah.
like 5
Yeah.
years old, it's all bad.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
All right. Next. That was fun. All right. I don't want to miss this one.
I'm gonna have to process of elimination this one.
Is it my turn to go first?
Sure.
Just because I don't recognize it, Shining Force.
I'm also gonna say Shining Force.
Didn't we already have Shining Force?
We get 2 tracks from each game.
Oh, we got 2 tracks from each game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your process of elimination method has now fallen apart.
Darn. Okay. Yeah, because I was really confused because I was like, it doesn't sound like a Game Boy game, and that's the only one I can think of that it could be. It does have that Genesis sound, so I will go with Shining Force, knowing that.
And the answer is
Shining Force.
yes. I think we're all still tied for 6. We're doing good. We're all gonna have to
Neck
share
and
your
neck,
prize.
yeah. Can we do that? Does it break into 3? Can we share custody?
No, never.
Oh God.
Never ever.
He brought us a small child.
Uh-oh. That's dangerous.
Go ahead.
I am pretty confident
Yeah,
that I know this one.
I think I remember exactly where in the game that was too. How's it going?
It sounds. I mean, I can guess this one. I don't know if I'm right.
You might have to. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm gonna have to guess. Yeah, it sounds like an NES sound chip to me, so I would say Dragon Quest.
I'm going with Great Greed.
I'm also going with Great Greed.
Okay.
Definitely great grade.
That's the what's her name? Lola Leftovers. I think
That-
that's her song.
Oh, was that her song?
I
knew.
think
I
in the
knew it
record
was familiar.
factory.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes the game
Hey.
sound really good. That game has a really good sound.
It surprisingly does, although there's only 8 tracks and I had to pull them off myself. I couldn't find a Great Greed soundtrack anywhere. Shockingly, a game nobody's heard of. Go ahead. It's got a nice jungle beat to
It does. Yeah.
Russ.
Secret of Evermore.
Yeah, again, there was almost no music in that, so I'm gonna go with Secret of Evermore.
I believe that track is called Fire Eyes from Secret of Evermore.
For your,
Accurate.
And it
for your
is.
bonus point.
All right, so even if one of us wins, she really
Right.
wins.
Yeah, we have the winner.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Bonus track. And then this just plays for the rest of the game. The next hour and a half, this is all you're listening to.
Very Bubble Bobble style then.
Yeah. Russ, you've suffered through it recently.
Was that from A Boy and His Blob?
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. I've never played that game, but I've heard of it.
Go ahead. That's so hard.
It's truly a mystery.
God, that could be anything.
What could it be? What could it be?
Are we sure that's even a video game?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't think
she
so.
could be throwing in a movie to fool. I think we can all just agree at the same time. It's
Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Don't remember what that track is called, unfortunately.
No, but it's Magus's Castle, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What was the game?
Chrono Trigger?
Okay, good.
It was the trial.
The Trial.
Ah!
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
A little embarrassing, but not as bad as sticking it with Shining Force. Go ahead. Almost sounded like Final Fantasy
I think I know.
I have a
I
guess.
think I'm pretty confident.
I have a guess. I'm not
VI.
confident.
I'm not confident either, but I'm going to say Arcana.
I'm also going to say Arcana.
Oh, I was gonna say Breath of Fire.
What is it?
Arcana.
Yes!
Oh,
Who knew Arcana had good music?
I forget. Yeah.
I forgot anything
Right.
was positive about that
Yeah.
game.
Where was that? What is that? Where was that from?
The name of it?
Yeah.
Soldier of Betrayal.
Mm.
Ariel?
That could be anything in Arcana.
That is every chapter of
Every-
Arcana.
Every character betrays you. That's the story of
Right.
Arcana. All right, go ahead. All right, I've been going from either end many times, and maybe that's not fair, so I'll go first. And I'll say I think that's Final Fantasy Legends.
I'm also going to guess Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
Legends.
Final Fantasy Legend.
You're all wrong.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Go team!
What was it?
Dragon Warrior.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's the end boss theme.
It is.
I think I've heard it once in my life.
That's
Oh.
reasonable. That's reasonable.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Next.
I'm picking one.
Sword. Somebody's just died or left the party.
Oh, jeez.
I got no clue.
I think I know this one. I'm pretty confident on this one.
I'm not confident at all, and I haven't been keeping track of the games, so I don't know which ones might be out of elimination. Since you are confident, you can go last. so we don't copy
Okay.
off.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea.
Uh,
Force us to be honorable.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Shining Force with absolutely no reason to do so.
Oh God, I really don't know. I'm trying to identify the sound chip, but I'm apparently not doing so well with that. Okay. I don't think it's one of the Super Nintendo games that I know, and it sounds kind of weird. It's not that one, it's not that one, it's not that one. If it was that one, you would know it. I'm gonna go
Now I'm
with-
less confident.
I like how confident she is in our ability.
I'm losing confidence.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. Decisions are hard. Have we done 2 Final Fantasy Legends?
And Princess is over there laughing at us in her head because she knows the answer.
She does, and she knows that we should probably know this or not know this, and we're all wrong. Let's go with
Judging us.
Shining Force.
And?
I'm gonna say Lufia.
Oh. The answer is?
Lufia.
Okay.
Oh man. Okay. Because I was like, I've heard it before, but it's not one I know very well.
It is when anything sad happens. It's like when Selen dies.
Okay.
Called
Yeah.
Spoils of War.
Yeah.
Okay.
The spoils of wars.
Clearly, I don't know that soundtrack as well as I
Sad
should.
spoils.
Ready?
Sure. I'm embarrassed that I don't raise
This one.
Yeah.
Oh god. Alright, then since I don't know, I
You
should
go
go
first.
first. Yeah. Oh god. Chrono Trigger?
You want to say it at the same time?
Sure.
Breath of Fire.
Okay, I have not picked a single Breath of Fire game,
It
for
has
the
a
record.
really distinctive and almost overwrought sound.
Yeah.
Well, hold on,
yeah.
Princess.
There's Breath of Fire.
There's always a chance. Alright, so you guys both get a point.
Yep.
and I'm-
Regular boss theme, right? I think.
Emperor's Odds.
Okay, I was gonna say that's not the regular.
Oh,
one.
the Zog. Okay.
Ready?
Sure. I wish I'd been keeping track of which games we hadn't done 2 clips from.
I have a guess.
Not sure.
I know the rest of the song. Alright, I made my choice.
I think I made my choice.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Russ.
I'm gonna go with Great Greed on that one.
Me too.
I am too.
And?
Reread.
Hey!
Okay.
Your character.
Name your. That's right. I knew the song, I just wasn't sure where it was coming from. Yep.
Oh yeah.
I feel better now. I mean, I know I'm bad at music, but at least I know what you guys. Alright, so all at the same time, yeah?
Chrono Trigger.
Alright.
It's
Oh,
kinda like
sorry, what game was it?
Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
It's like the Chrono Trigger equivalent of Fire Eyes, actually.
It actually,
It
yeah.
is.
There was some similarities. Except it had, music.
Oh. Oh, this is good.
Oh, I love the soundtrack of this game.
Is that a Tim Fallon soundtrack?
I can't help you.
Alright, what is it?
That is River City Ransom.
Oh man, okay, no, it isn't, but that is fantastic. Okay.
Were you familiar with
Yeah.
it? Okay.
I played River City Ransom with you.
I love the soundtrack
Yeah.
to River City Ransom. It's great. Alright, go ahead.
Now I face out, I hold out, I toot to the
Now, what on earth could this possibly be?
for the homo man,
Lauren, did you have a
I
guess?
have no idea what that is.
That's Persona 4.
Oh, okay. Actually, I might have guessed Persona something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Huh?
I knew that.
Yeah, Princess has had to suffer through some Persona stuff because of me. Yeah.
Best game ever. Almost.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Almost.
I've heard good things.
It's 4 is fantastic. Go ahead.
I know this one.
Okay. I'm gonna guess Final Fantasy Legends. I'm I'm going to be wrong.
I'm just gonna say Shining Force because I know I didn't like it, so I wasn't paying attention to the music.
No, that's the main theme of Final Fantasy Legends, I think. They play it in the epilogue too. Am I right?
Princess?
It's Final Fantasy 11.
Hmm.
It's called Wipe Your Tears Away.
So sad.
I don't think this one's on the list. Now, Russ, earlier when you said best game ever, do you feel like you might have misspoke?
Probably. I probably misspoke.
Okay.
Second best game ever.
Okay.
Persona 4.
Yeah.
That one was obviously Earthbound.
Smiles and tears.
That's it.
That's it? That's all the games? All right. So, at a point, Russ and I have 13.
I think we're all tied.
We're all
Do we
tied.
all tie? Do we have to divide the prize?
You know what?
Third?
We will share the prize. What is the prize, Russ?
Oh,
Can it be
where is
shared?
the prize? Here's the prize.
I'm scared.
Oh, it's heavy.
Oh my god!
Oh, God.
Who is this body polo of?
This is Neptune
What
from
is-
Hyperdimension Neptunia.
Okay.
She represents a fictional Sega game console.
Okay.
She has friends that represent the PlayStation, the Xbox, and the Wii.
Oh, she's one of those. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So I guess we're
She's
all
the-
sharing a body pillow.
Yes.
So we're all going to take a nap, I suppose.
Yep. We're all going to cuddle with Neptune.
Thank you guys for joining us for a very special Home on the RNG. We're all going to go take a group nap, I suppose.
Clearly.
The next game we'll be reviewing is not one of Lauren's favorites, unfortunately. It is the Super Mario RPG. I'm sorry.
That's okay. A lot of people I know love it.
I love it.
Exactly. A lot of people
Yeah.
love it.
I'm ready.
So
I'm
there you
ready.
go. We'll see you guys next time. Russ, thank you for the magnificent prize. Is it
You're-
reversible? Oh, God.
You're quite welcome.
Oh,
It is
God.
reversible.
Wait, who's in
Here's,
the back?
this is
That's-
Purple Heart.
That's
This is
Neptune
this
again.
is her goddess form.
She transforms into having that.
She's much older
I
here.
see.
Thank
She's
you.
much older here.
Thank you, Russ, for bringing in your magnificent gift. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Home on the RNG is a presentation of Mad Centaur Productions. You can find Jeff on youtube.com/Centaur Productions or on Twitter @JeffCentaur. You can find Russ on Twitter @RussMac25. Lauren the Flute can be found on Twitch as Lauren the Flute. Also check out her band The Returners. Thank you for listening, and remember, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this podcast with you.